Is insanity and unbelievable things about to take place? Well, I guess we're about to find out. But first, before we get into that, because we got some major news coming up, let's start here with this article here. And it's titled, Experts Predict XRP Set to Challenge Ethereum. We have some predictions here today. And let me tell you something, as a starter, these are pretty good. These are pretty good predictions. Now, this is what it says here. Cryptocurrency experts are forecasting a promising future for XRP. We've known this all along, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. This is why we do research, so we know how big it's going to be, or if it's going to continue to get larger, or if it's going to decrease, of course. But we know. Wait, let's keep going. So forecasting a promising future for XRP, with some anticipating a price rally that could challenge Ethereum and Bitcoin's dominance. Now, that's what I like to hear. Leading this optimism, crypto analyst Dark Defender, shout out to Dark Defender, has highlighted 5 factors that may position the cryptocurrency at the forefront of the digital asset market. Dark Defender emphasizes the one major advantage for XRP is a recent court ruling by the Honorable Judge Annalisa Torres, who classified it as not a security that is going to come in handy in the future. Big time. It says, according to Dark Defender, this ruling is a pivotal step for XRP, of course. In addition to this legal milestone, Ripple's continuous development efforts inspire further optimism. While he doesn't delve into specifics, does he have to? Listen, we know all about everything that's going on, what they've been doing in Thailand, what they've been doing in the UK, what they've been doing in with the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, with their CBDC platform, wholesale, retail. Listen, those who know about XRP, we understand everything. That's why, different researchers don't have to really go into depth. We know. We're trying to keep up with what the continued forward movement is. What's new, what's happening, what's the newest development, how far have these things come since that time back then. Those are really some of the important aspects that we try to keep up with. Of course, they cover here with the stuff that's happening in Dubai. We covered that in the last few videos. Man, those last few videos, you see yesterday's video? Did you see that members only video? Check that members only video out that I released like a day or two ago. Ripple's focus on utility extends to its involvement in central bank digital currencies and stablecoins. The anticipated launch of the RLUSD, which is just a doorway into XRP. That's all it is. The more and more we find out about it, we find that it is made to bring in those businesses so that they get hooked on XRP. So you give them this lower offering, right? And if they like that, you say, well, that's not our premier offering. We have something better. Would you like that? Of course, they're going to say yes. And that's when they bring in the XRP. And this is what they've been talking about. So now it says XRP targets potential new highs. By the way, everything's been looking really good. Have you seen Solana lately? Have you seen Bitcoin? Holy smokes. Is this the beginning of the true bull run? Because things are looking good. Now, don't get me wrong. There are negative catalysts. Things could come down. But things have been looking good. You tell me how you feeling about that, folks. You got to be feeling good right now. I hope you are. So then we move on to someone else, of course, another one, a person we're sort of familiar with through the articles, Mickey Bull. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I've never heard it said in real life, but I think it's Mickey Bull. And from one Mick to another, it's a good name. It says Mickey Bull, another well-known crypto expert, has also expressed confidence in XRP's prospects, forecasting a significant price increase in the near future. In a recent post on X, Mickey Bull referenced its performance during past cycles. So Mickey Bull is saying that at some point in the future, there could be a possible XRP price of $19. How you feel about that? You think that's good? Is that good for you? Is that close to your price? You going to, or are you going a little bit higher? You feel like it might go a little higher? Let me know. I don't know what you guys think. I know what you said in the past. I don't know what you think right now. Things change. So then also we get to one last person. Of course, we're familiar with this individual. Jack the Rippler is more bullish. I like the sound of that. Envisioning the cryptocurrency reaching new heights by analyzing historical price trends and recognizing signs of a potential breakout following years of consolidation, Jack the Rippler believes it could surpass $33. They say 3 is the magic number. You think it could reach $33? We shall see. You know what I like about the XRP community is that we're all coming from like these different angles. We're all looking at stuff in a different way. Some people going by charts, some people are going by research, and then all of those have a myriad of degrees that we're coming into this information from. So now we live in unbelievable times as the IMF. I've been telling people about this for a long time, but now the IMF has to issue a dire warning. We're looking at a nearly $2 trillion debt explosion. That is harmful. That is dangerous in a myriad of ways. But it says here, $1,920 billion debt explosion hits the U.S. as International Monetary Fund issues dire warning on nation's loose fiscal policy. Emphasis on loose. They should say reckless. Come on, people. But what are they going to do about this? You have to do something about this. We're going to see if they have. I mean, there's ways to clean this up. There are. So the U.S. government has added nearly $2 trillion to the national debt since the start of the year. According to new data from the Treasury Department, the Treasury's debt to the penny database shows that the U.S. national debt has increased by $1.92 trillion since January the 2nd, bringing the total debt to more than $35.91 trillion. What? Holy smokes. It says as of November the 5th. That's exactly how I feel. This is ridiculous. If this is not irresponsible, I don't know what is. I'm just not going to hold back. A lot of people hold back. I don't know why. They take this light hand with the government. To everybody that's around them, they're strict with everybody. But when it comes to the government, it's just like, whatever. No, you got to hold them accountable. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, they're getting the people into trouble. See, that's one thing I don't like about authority figures. It's like if they're irresponsible, then they get you into trouble, even though you might be the most responsible person in the world. That's why I firmly believe in governing oneself. I do. It just happens we're born into these systems. You know, we shake ourselves free of these systems, but I believe in absolute freedom and governance of self and responsibility. But anyway, the national debt, somebody out there is like, Mick, I don't care what you believe. Get back to the crypto. We're going to get back to it. Don't worry about it. All right. The national debt reached $35 trillion level for the first time in July and is now less than $90 billion shy of hitting the $36 trillion mark. The new data comes amid a stark warning from International Monetary Fund on the need for the U.S. To get its finances in order. You know, listen, first of all, let me tell you something right now. You know it's bad when the IMF has to step in. Have you seen how the IMF operates? Huh? I mean, listen, if you read a lot of IMF documentation, you look how they actually operate around the world, and then you say to yourself, these are the people that are chastising you about responsibility? That's when you know it's bad. That's when you know it's bad. I don't care what anyone says. You want to talk about loose monetary policy? Holy smokes. Quote, after years of loose fiscal policy, it is now the kettle. What's that old phrase? The pot calling the kettle black, right? Quote, after years of loose fiscal policy, it is now time to stabilize debt dynamics and rebuild much needed fiscal buffers. We're talking about people. Listen, when I'm talking about the IMF, you got to understand these are people who fabricate value out of SDRs, et cetera, stuff like that. I mean, you're working with a magical checkbook pretty much. Like, come on now. So I'm keeping that in my mind as I'm thinking about the IMF addressing these particular issues when it comes to monetary policy. It's like, how do you practice? Anyway, there's so deep we could go with that. For some countries like the United States and China, debt dynamics are not stabilized under current fiscal plans. In many others, while early fiscal plans showed promise after the redacted and cost of living crisis, there are increasing signs of slippage, unquote. The IMF says both nations should move quickly and establish credible plans with specific debt targets. Quote, the path is narrow. Unduly delaying adjustment increases the risk of disorderly market imposed adjustments, while an excessively sharp turn toward fiscal consolidation would be self-defeating and hurt economy activity. Success requires staying the course by implementing gradual and credible multi-year adjustments without delay where consolidation is necessary. Do you believe that's actually going to happen? I just don't see that happening right now with the minds that the people have in charge. I believe they want to bring the house down. I do, to build a new house. I think that's been the idea for a long time. It's very clear, and not just here, but across the board. I mean, why does China have the particular problems that they do in their financial system? Japan, UK, the US, all of these so-called first world countries have these financial problems, which any clear mind can see a way that it could have been avoided. It could have been remedied, but it's been allowed to exacerbate. I mean, I think it's clear that this is being done on purpose for some sort of, you could call it a reset or whatever. But they want to break down the base of the house, knock the house down so they could build something new. At least that was the idea. I mean, we'll see how things go over these next few years. There's been a lot of other variables that have been introduced now that could change things dramatically. It really could. And I think the people are taking more control. We'll see how long the people, want to fight for control and their say in how the world runs. We shall see. But that could be a catalyst for change. We'll see. We'll observe. So now let's move on here. It says the IMF says global public debt is expected to exceed $100 trillion by the end of 2024. Let's move on here. We got big things happening with one of my favorite coins, Solana. I told people when Solana was $16, $17, $18, I said, listen, not financial advice. This is not financial advice also. Solana's bullish. Look at this. Solana joins $100 billion club, hitting nearly a 3-year high above $210. Oh, go Solana, go. I'm pretty sure, I don't know what it's doing right now. I didn't look at the charts in the last few hours, but I'm pretty sure maybe profit taking probably is going on right now. I would think it might come down a little bit if it hasn't already. The fourth largest crypto could potentially reach its 2021 record high of $260 in the coming days, given its relative strength through crypto's 8-month-long consolidation phase, one analyst noted. Beautiful, beautiful time. Solana's native cryptocurrency Sol hit a new milestone on Sunday as Bitcoin's breakout to new record highs accelerated the broad-based crypto rally. Sol broke above its March-April cycle highs, touching $212 for the first time since 2021 crypto bull market peak. The token has gained 34% over the week, leading Bitcoin's 18% move, and the broad market CoinDesk 20 indexes 27% advances. Sol's all-time record was $260, or just a bit more than 20% above the current price of $214. Then it continues here. This week's gains catapulted Sol to more than $100 billion market cap, joining only 3 other cryptocurrencies with much longer history above that threshold. Bitcoin, of course, and leading layer 1 smart contract platform Ethereum's Ether, and dominant stablecoin Tether. The flipping Chatter has returned to crypto Twitter through this time. Though this time, what is going on? Well, holy smokes. Though this time around, it's the idea that Sol's market cap might at some point top that of ETH, which currently sits at about $389 billion. Well, it has some ways to go. Like I said, I'm not concerned about it topping ETH. I just need Solana to do well. I'm not worried about it being in competition with anything else. I just need Solana to do well. I'm here to make money. Me worrying about something I don't hold, which is ETH. I do use ETH, but I don't hold ETH. That comes and goes. I'm not going to waste my time worried about something I don't have and I don't have an interest in. ETH is bullish also. May much money come to the people that are involved with ETH. But my focus is on Solana when I'm thinking about that, right? And that's how I think. I stay focused. I stay locked in on the goal. XRP, Solana, Quant, etc. You know the usual suspects when it comes to crypto. Solana achieved a remarkable comeback after the collapse of Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX. We know all about that, but they throw that little bit in there. Let's move on here. So now, let's get to the big dog now. Bitcoin. Oh, yeah. Bitcoin's been looking real good. Breaking. I love when they say that, like it's the traditional media breaking. Bitcoin price reaches $80,000. Will Bitcoin continue to rally? I'm pretty sure right now. With all of these things reaching these high prices right now, like I said, I haven't looked at the charts in the last few hours. I'm pretty sure there had to be profit taking. Pretty sure. So is it still at 80,000? Wait, no. Oh, it's still close. Okay, so CoinGape does have the Bitcoin price at the top. So right now, Bitcoin is $79,882. So it did come down just a little bit. That makes perfect sense in my humble opinion. But in my humble opinion, at some point, it will go back up again. It will go high, much higher. Bitcoin's price hits a new all-time high of $80,000 amid extreme greed. I like to hear that. Now, greed overall, folks, I personally don't think is a good thing. But when it comes to crypto, it's a great thing, right? Greed in life is not good, but greed when it comes to crypto, that's something we like to see, right? Funny how that dichotomy exists. With 100% addresses in profit, it says signaling potential for correction. I'll say Bitcoin price, and then reiterate that again. Why? This upward movement has pushed Bitcoin into what many analysts describe as the price discovery phase, where Bitcoin's future price trajectory is largely uncharted. However, market experts are divided on whether this rally will continue or if Bitcoin is primed for a correction in the near term. Bitcoin price climb to $80,000 has created an atmosphere of both excitement and caution within the cryptocurrency community. I have no worries at all. None at all. I think I see the path clearly. Bitcoin is on the path to a few explosions. And 100,000 obviously is very close. If we reach 100,000, that $100,000 to $150,000 range right in there, we may be looking at a much higher price than 100,000. Then maybe that 200,000 is not too far-fetched that people have been talking about. It says with 100% of Bitcoin wallet addresses now in profit, according to data shared by Ki-Young Ju, CEO of CryptoQuant, many see this as a pivotal moment in Bitcoin's price journey. We often see a correction when the price reaches these levels, quote unquote. Ju commented, hinting that major investors might start taking profits soon. Is it possible? Yes. That is possible. I think that they would take profits, not just for collecting the value, of course, that's going to be a benefit to them, obviously, but to bring it down again. Once again, I want to emphasize, I know how this sounds. There's a lot of companies not in position yet. And I just don't see their friends, their partners, the other companies letting that price get too high before others get in position. I just don't see it. I think there is the possibility strategically for them to all sell in mass. You have, like I said, and you have negative catalysts out there that could really bring that price down for sure. That all happening all at one time. Maybe they wait on that. Those negative catalysts kick in. And then while that's going on, they all sell at the same time, bring that price down to where their buddies, their friends, and other companies that haven't gotten in yet will be able to buy for a little bit lower before everything really explodes. But I'm just playing with ideas here, right? There's no guarantees. But I think that's a possibility. It says, however, should the bullish rally continue, BTC price may continue its rally towards $100,000, according to a Bitcoin price prediction. All right, let's see how long the video is going for now. So now let's go in here. We got another Bitcoin article. I only have two more articles. We may finish all the articles today, folks. All right. And shout out to everybody in the members only section, leaving me comments. Shout out to Orion. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone. All right. So now Bitcoin's incoming $110,000 call, BlackRock's $1.1 billion inflow day, and more. Hodlers digest November 3rd through the 9th. BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF saw daily inflows top $1 billion following, all the political things going on in the U.S. It says an analyst says Bitcoin is heading to $110,000 and other news. Well, I mean, listen, with it touching $80,000 already, I like to rest on this arm sometimes, but, I think it's better when I use both hands to speak, but I like to rest on it. It just makes me feel comfortable. I just throw thoughts out there sometimes. It's how I work, folks. So it's like when you're hearing me speak, it's like you're in my mind. I'm just brainstorming. You're hearing raw thoughts. That's just the way I am. So now, but with it touching $80,000, it's not that far from 100,000, 110,000. I think I think we can see now that's going to be easy. I do. There hasn't even been major catalysts yet. There's a lot of positive catalysts in the future. I think that 110,000, I think that's going to be easy at some point. And the excitement is going to be insane. The volatility is going to be vicious. If people are expecting to take profit, they better have everything set in place early. I don't think when everything goes off, I don't think there's going to be enough time for people to, unless you're a real long-term believer in any of these coins, so-called coins, I don't think there's going to be enough time to react manually unless you just have all day. How many of us really have all day to just sit around and be ready to click a button to sell or buy, or, most of us are really, really busy. I know I am. So you have to prepare ahead of time. So now it says the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, accumulated more than $1 billion of inflows to its Bitcoin ETF across a record trading day as Bitcoin continued to break all-time highs. Michigan Pension Fund maintains Bitcoin ETF investment as Ether ETFs. Really interesting. We got a lot of stuff going on here. Pakistan moves to regulate cryptocurrency CBDCs as legal tender. I like these articles where it kind of lures you in with Bitcoin, but they have a lot of other really powerful information. This is interesting. U.S. lawmaker doubles down on crypto promises. Okay. Interesting. There's a lot of stuff going on in crypto, right? Crypto overall is heating up. IBIT inflows represented almost 82% of inflows generated by the 11 United States listed spot Bitcoin ETFs on the day, which amounted to 1.34 billion. Is that current though? Is that current? Well, I guess it is. It says he says they posted it allegedly yesterday, but it says 8 minutes ago. How does that work? I guess they updated it 8 minutes ago. Okay, so I see. They updated it 8 minutes ago, but the original articles from yesterday. Interesting. All right, so now let's move on here, folks. We got a little bit. Is this a warning? What is this? Okay, JP Morgan. Did you see yesterday's video with what's going on with the banks? So now we're going to end off with this article right here. JP Morgan is saying BRICS payment system can weaken US dollar. Now, are people going to take this serious? Look, I like to adjust to things as I see more of it develop. You got to think strategically here. Now, what we're looking at, and I don't like to be one of those people that lives in fear or panic. I just don't believe in that. I like to be prepared, and I like to keep my eyes open to see the punches coming. Then you can bob and weave. You can avoid the attack. You can defend. If you have your eyes open, you stay calm. Now, when I look at this here, the BRICS system, there's a lot of ways where, once again, you can cancel them out. If the U.S. is smart, the U.S. can cancel them out. It's just like how let's say we put certain restrictions, monetary restrictions on BRICS Nation, right? I'll say that to keep it a little bit obtuse. We penalize them, though they can just cancel us out, theoretically speaking, by placing certain limitations on us when we interact with them, and thus it's an equal penalty for them and us, which negates the entire penalty in the first place. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's mutually assured destruction. It cancels out. It's a stalemate. It renders whatever's going on irrelevant. So now the same way of thinking could be applied to what's going on here. If there is a negative that's coming against the US dollar because of the BRICS pay system, then the US, couldn't they, if the US is willing to do so, negotiate with a lot of these countries around the world? Yes, they could be in the BRICS nation. That's just an economic alliance. It doesn't mean it's strong. It's not strong in a lot of ways. But couldn't you negotiate with a lot of those countries and incentivize them in some way to utilize US dollars? There's a lot of ways you could go about that. Making entry into certain sectors within the U.S. and into acquiring certain assets in the U.S. maybe a little bit easier for them if they continue to use the U.S. dollar. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could incentivize them to continue to use the U.S. dollar. Am I thinking this wrong? So, there's a lot of ways to battle against this BRICS system. I just don't know if the U.S. is willing to do that. But let me read this little tidbit here. It says, leading investment bank JP Morgan has warned that the new BRICS payment system could weaken the U.S. dollar's hegemony. The bloc is working toward the formation of a new payment system called BRICS Pay, where a basket of currencies will be used to settle cross-border transactions. The yet-to-be-launched payment mechanism will not incorporate the U.S. dollar in its systems for global trade and settlements. Now, another thing. And I have seen this because they've been, drizzling bits of this into the articles that I'm reading about financial news, that a lot of these countries they claim they want to, in the future, work with the U.S. Listen, it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to do it, I know. But let's say they actually feel that way. Is there a possibility of what I just said? All of these nations could come to the table, cooler heads could prevail, and I wouldn't say they would continue to use the US dollar in the same way that they have, but not negate it totally. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.